Hello everyone, welcome back to a new video. Today with transparent gloves. Anyway, I want to pour 3D blooms and I've chosen here the round Cascade mold from Molds and Shapes. It's the coaster mold and I filled my mold already with the resin. The resin is the supercast resin. I want to test this again, how the 3D blooms are working out. This time I let it stand for around about 10 minutes before I started pouring. So I have here the wine red alcohol ink from Octopus. I'm just dropping 2 drops into the center of each mold and look at the color, I really love it. And then I've chosen its fuchsia and I'm just dropping around my wine red drop, you see, and I just let the alcohol ink spread, so yeah, it makes a design of its own. And I didn't use it too much in the last months anymore, resin inks or alcohol inks at all. I've never really worked with alcohol inks, even though I have the whole range of Octopus, but I've never done it really, so I thought I used the alcohol inks today, and that's what I'm doing here. And it's already looking like a flower, and sometimes you think, please stop, and it's already looking okay like this. But anyway, these are my colors dropped. I do still a little bit of the wine red, 1 drop each into the center, because I thought it was a little bit too transparent. And then I can start pouring my white. So my white I mixed with the resin, with the pigment drops from Etta Art and some interference pearl from Etta Art. When you mix your white, please make sure it's not too opaque. When you mix it and you have a wooden stick to it, if you just, check it a little bit, if you can still see a little bit of the stick, then you have the right consistency. And your resin needs to have a sort of honey consistency so that you don't have measure blobs, even though I sometimes love the blobs. But anyway, and I find when you pour a pearl color to your white, you get a little bit a sort of artificial look. It's more like I don't know, plastique. I hope you know what I mean, and this is what I really love. But it's, of course, everyone is thinking different, but I just adore it. So I'm doing my spirals, you see it, because for me it's really the easiest way and the most effective way of doing the blooms, and especially also for beginners. So this is what I've done. I'm taking my torch and I'm just popping some bubbles which are on the surface, and now I'm smoothing out a little bit the center, because sometimes when you pour out of the cup it can be a little bit thick, and if you're not too confident with the cup, you can always snip this rim off so that you don't have a major blob. Now you see me pouring a little bit more of the white because I still had white left over and I wanted to use it. My mold was only filled to the second cascade because I wanted to make a back layer, just for if anyone asks. And if you are just a very beginner, please put your resin, your white resin, into a piping bag. This makes it a lot easier. So anyway, I've done my flowers and I thought I show you a little bit in a close-up how I'm doing my flower design. So I really take my time. I didn't make this part any faster or whatsoever. And I'm scratching only at the surface, I'm not going too deep with my dotting tool, because then you risk to scratch your mold, and then for every new pour you will see what you've done at the bottom side. And then you need to dome your resin piece, and it would be a pity because molds and shapes, molds are very shiny, and they are shiny for a very, very long time. And if you ruin it, it's, yeah, then you need to dome it. And normally you don't need to dome molds and shapes when you use molds and shapes molds for a long time. Anyway, this is now the time lapse where I'm, yeah, doing everything a little bit faster so it doesn't get too boring for you. And then I finish them off with the swirl in the center. And this here is the close-up, and that was straight after pouring. So far I'm quite happy, and you see the sheen to it. And this is what I'm actually liking, when they have this artificial look. And so far I'm quite happy, and I'm very confident at that point that they turned out well. Sometimes I'm just nervous and think, oh my God, what have you done now? But anyway, so, and now it's for my background, and I've chosen the Deep Sea Alcohol Ink from Octopus. But what I saw later, it's quite transparent. I should have checked better, because you cannot really see the color. I should have made it a little bit more opaque, but I just didn't do it. I don't know why. And then I had, I don't know if it was a good idea, the idea to drop some of the Deep Sea Alcohol Ink straight onto my resin, which I just poured on top of my coasters. You see it, because I was not happy with the color. I should have just mixed a little bit more, but sometimes you are so much into whatever you are doing, and then you just don't do it. So, but I did it now like this, and now I have my interference pearl, and I'm just filling up my molds. I just pour from the center, you see it there, and then I just let my resin spread. At that point I was still hoping that I get some nice like teal color effects together with my interference pearl, but I was not quite sure. So, but we will see later with the demolding. I will show you what I've done, and yeah. So you see me just carefully filling up my mold, and then my resin can do whatever it needs to do. It was very tight, but I filled my molds really up, that they're up to the rim. There is just a tiny rim at the side when I demolded, so everything is fine. And now I'm just using some of the clear resin. By the way, I did the background with the ultra cast resin. I didn't do it with the super cast. The flowers I did with the super cast resin. So, yeah. I still don't have much of the supercast resin, and I wanted to save it for some other project, just to try to see what I can achieve, because it's a rather new resin for me. So I thought I save it and I don't do the back layer with the supercast resin. So anyway, you see me pouring and yeah, using for the background. And this is now the next day. I can demold. It looks quite wild from that side, so I'm very curious what came out on the other side. And there I thought, why did I drop in the alcohol ink and not stir it into my clear or transparent cup? But it happened. It is like it is. I cannot change it. Like I said, sometimes when you are in the middle of pouring, you do things and you don't know what you are doing, or you take the risk that it's maybe not turning out nice. But let's have a look how it's looking. And look at that. You cannot see with this one any of the alcohol ink. It's just a nice delicate crackle effect from the interference pearl. And look at the flower. It's exactly what I wanted to have, this more artificial design, and I really adore it. So the second one, And let's have a look for this as well. And there you can see traces of, because I dropped the alcohol ink into the mold. I don't know why you can see it so well on that one, but on the other hand, it gives a different look, and I'm still happy with my flower. I think it turned out very beautiful. Now the next one, and there it's again more white, so the blue didn't get through, which I really like. In this case, even though it was my plan to do. And now the last one. And there you have tiny traces of the deep sea, and I really like it. It could have been maybe a little bit more, but I think there it looks really good. So, and now I'm showing you the end result, and you see the flowers from the close-up and the crackle effects, and I'm really happy with the outcome. It looks very much 3D, and the background is very delicate. Maybe so much at that one, but for the others I think it is. Anyway, with this I love and leave you. I thank you for watching, and take care, guys. Bye bye.